Hey, homestead homies. This is Lee from Honey Tree Bee Ranch. Also farms. We're going to be working on the worm bin. Hasn't really been touched since they've been put in. We did give them a slight feed before we went on the trip. And I already know they need more. Plus, what I usually do is I run a composter, which is back behind that wall. And I just let everything from the kitchen sort of break down in there. And then I bring it over here as raw compost after I grind it up a bit. And we dump it in with worms. Let them chew it down, and then later on we'll pop these things off, and we'll do that later. It's not high enough for me, and I'm afraid to end up with worms in there. And I don't want to go through that mess. It's a pain. But a vertical system is a whole lot better. Because if you look at it this way, no matter if you make it yourself, which is what my original plan was, or if you decide to buy one, the vertical bin works where you put the stuff on top, it slowly goes down by the force of gravity. The worms eat it, they digest it, they convert it, leave worm castings, and it'll start settling lower and lower into the bin. Now, this bin can process up to 2 kilograms of waste products per day. I don't think Sam and I will do that this year, but it can, which means everything she brings in from the garden, no matter what it is, as long as it runs through a grinder real fast, make sure it's sort of broken down, which makes it easier for the worms to eat. Break it down quickly, and then they can eat it. Well, what we're going to do today is I'm going to feed the worms again. Sorry for the background, it's my beehives, and I'm IT by trade, so I got a bunch of IT stuff back here. But what we're going to do is we're going to process this down, the compost from outside, we're going to grind it up real fine, makes it easier for them to eat, and also it'll go through quicker. And the whole point I'm going to do is I'm going to bring it up, we can see it better on camera, is right about here. This will be the cutoff line of ag until they eat through, or it's just time to harvest. And then we just take the bottom bend off. We let everything sort of gravity feed down. Once we pull it off, dump it, put it back on, and just let gravity feed back down. And then it'll get lower into the bin, and we just have more material. All right, let me get to it. Be with you in a second, but for me, it's going to take about an hour. It's a lot. It takes a while for this grinder I got to grind. I'm going to have to replace it with a gas grinder. It just doesn't have the throughput. It's a pain. Well, talk to you guys in a sec. Hey, old St. Homies, we're back. All right, I grounded up the compost. Well, pardon me. And I took out the composter. It's been sitting in there for about a year, and it was sort of coarse, so I grounded it up quite a bit. And what I'm going to be doing is increasing the bed, bringing it up higher. I'm also going to be feeding the worms as well at the same time. Now, I'll bring it up closer. As you can tell, so let me get it up. This compost is pretty dry. So I'm going to have to wet it down, but I've got some carrots that went off, and we need to get rid of those anyhow, along with some lettuce, and I think it's a mint. So, I think it's mint, could be parsley. But anyhow, what we're going to do is we're going to take and add the fresh bits to it now. And I'm going to put that right on top of what I got. Give me a second. Okay, what we have is the inside of the bin. I tossed some peanut shells in there for bulk. Yeah, it's not broken down very well, but it's okay. I'm going to leave this old cardboard I was using as the upper barrier in there and let it rot. It's already halfway there anyhow. And I'm just going to put the new material on top, and I'm going to soak it with the carrots. This is, leftover mint that was never used. I'm just going to toss that in. And then we got some leftover celery that we didn't finish off. So I'm just going to toss that in. Now, I got this dry material. Normally I wouldn't do this with a brand new bin. It's too much to add at once. But I've had these worms for a while, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take this whole bucket and just toss them in. And see, it didn't bring it up really all that much. When it brought it maybe 2 inches at most. Now, as I said, the stuff is pretty dry. And the worms are not going to jump. Like, see, that stuff didn't break down, but it will. By the time I get done with it, it will. And I'm going to take and add some orange juice to it. Not orange juice, carrots, which I've ground down in a old grinder I had that I used to make drinks with. Back when I was in the military, I drank a lot. I don't now. But it's easier for them to digest the material if it's liquid, or at least close to liquid. So I'm just going to pour it in. Plus, it will make this a little bit more moist. And I'm going to add some more to it. And then I'm probably going to wet it down as well. I'll probably pour in like a half a liter of water into it. I'll be back. Okay, I've added the rest of the carrots in there after I grounded them up. And I gave them a half a liter of water. It's still a little bit dry. I'll add some more water over time. I don't want the bed to get too wet. But I'll mist the top probably tomorrow. It gets pretty hot in this garage. And we'll get her going. Well, we finally got it all added in. Like I said, I'm going to spray it with water when I'm done. What I also do is I put some cardboard on top. As you saw, there was older cardboard, which I'm going to go ahead and let it break down because it's already falling apart. And we're just going to let this thing sort of cook for a while. And we'll be harvesting the castings when we get to right where this indentation is in the lid. Because I think that's more than enough. I mean, they say you can take it all the way to the top, but I think that's too far. I like to have a little gap between the top and the bottom. And, you know, you overfill a little bit, then great, but, you know, you need that space. Well, I'll be back later, and I think tomorrow we're doing bees. Take care. This is Lee from Honey Tree Farms and Honey Tree Bee Yard. Take care and be blessed. Shalom.